Gather round, everyone, and hear again the tale of Drakfu. Welcome back, everybody. So, on Wednesday, we finished up the Cataclysm expansion. So the next expansion that we're going to go into is the fourth expansion, Mists of Pandaria, one of the more controversial expansions. I'm just going to go ahead and let my bias show because I love Mists of Pandaria. I do not understand the hate that it gets, aside from people wanting to claim that it's the, quote, Kung Fu Panda expansion, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but that wasn't a creative insult before. It isn't now. It never was. I'm sorry. If you're actually going to criticize something in the Mists of Pandaria expansion, which there is stuff to criticize, really? Kung Fu Panda? That's where you go with it? But first of all, happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week so far, especially since literally tomorrow we start up the E3 coverage. And just as a reminder, there will be no afternoon videos next week. All of it will be E3 coverage. So keep that in mind for next week. Well, let's go ahead and get things started. So a couple things that I need to go over. First of all, people might remember that with achievements for the zones, I had fixed numbers. For the Mists of Pandaria expansion onwards, instead what they do with the questing achievements is basically instead of a certain number, you have to get a certain amount of events done within the storyline of that zone. So from here on, that's actually what you're going to see, because we're going to start off in the Jade Forest of Pandaria, and as you can see, it's got a lot of stuff there, but as we go along, the list gets shorter and shorter. So just be prepared for that from here on in, and also, by the time Cataclysm had happened, we started to see a bit of a shift in how world design was being done by Blizzard, if that makes sense. In the sense that they actually decided to start gating flying again. So Cataclysm, they let you have it right off the bat, but then even Blizzard kind of admitted they noticed a real problem with Cataclysm because people weren't really experiencing the world. They were getting on their flying mounts, going to the next quest objective, taking care of that, getting on the flying mount, and going back. So this is actually where they started to gate it. And again, this playthrough is under the impression that you're a brand spanking new player on a brand, like you're starting this for the first time. And we're going to approach it that way. So, even though I could go and get flying, we're going to approach it as if I can't. And I know that's going to irritate a bunch of people. I don't really care. Because, frankly, I agree with Blizzard's decision. I didn't think flying was necessary, and I felt like Blizzard was being held back by flying. So, at that point, we're going to treat it as if you can't get it. Just so that we can appreciate the world. Because that's why they did that in the first place. But let's go ahead and get things started, because we already have our first quest starting up Pandaria, which is the Art of War. So let's see. Lotaro Gar, old friend. It has been too long since we last spoke. It is good to see that you emerged safely. Yeah, it is. So this is General Nazgrim actually speaking to you. It's good to see that you safely emerged from the depths of the Sheer. I am stationed here at Grommash Hold. All in service to the Horde are to swear allegiance to their new war chief. You would do well not to keep him waiting, Drakfu. So we just need to report to Grommash Hold. And this is where things get emo.
I am pleased to report that the battle at sea goes well, War Chief. Our forces report decisive victories off the coasts of Daenerys and Tol Barad.
Alliance blood spills. This pleases me, General.
There's more. I received word that our southern fleet engaged an Alliance envoy. We chased the royal flagship until it ran aground.
Aground? Where?
Apparently, they found a massive, uncharted landmass, shrouded by dense mists.
And you let the Alliance get there first! Redirect the invasion fleet. General, you and your best veterans will pave our way. Storm the shore, and paint this new continent red!
If you don't get why I call him Garrosh Emo Scream, you're going to get it in this expansion, because this is really where he starts to shine as a corrupted, or as a, well, emo war chief, for lack of a better term. I was going to look for another word, but no, he's really just being emo. So that's kind of the premise of Mists of Pandaria. We have just dealt with the Cataclysm, and obviously with the Cataclysm, there's still a battle for resources, but then a new part of the equation comes in. The mists surrounding Pandaria have faded a bit, and now anybody can access this continent. They weren't able to do so for about 10,000 plus years. So let's go ahead and talk to Nazgrim and begin our journey.
Blood and thunder.
Ah, good you're here, and not a moment too soon.
Ah, yes I am. All aboard.
You hear all of that, Drakfu? There are Alliance that need killing, and I need you to round up a veteran crew. You're coming with me. We won't be returning until our assignment's complete, so round up your things and make ready. I'll be aboard a newly commissioned gunship over Bladefist Bay. Don't keep me waiting.
May our foes flee before.
Now, the other thing, too, that keep in mind is, as you kind of notice, we have more interactive cutscenes, kind of like the Wrathgate, and that's because Cataclysm started doing that as well, not only doing in-game trailers, which they've been doing for a while, but they were looking better and better and better. When the Dragon Soul raid actually came out, we actually got full-on in-game cutscenes for basically at the end of a boss victory or something like that. And they decided to do a lot more of that in this one because people loved the Wrathgate. People loved those interactive cutscenes and wanted more of them. And hey, I agree with you guys. There wasn't enough in Cataclysm. So Mists of Pandaria brought that back. Now we just need to head over to Bladefist Bay, so get used to that, and that's going to be awesome. Also, voice work is going to be a lot more plenty. You guys kind of saw that in Cataclysm. It just gets more and more and more as we go through the expansions that follow. So here is actually the airship that we need to get to. We just need to get aboard Hellscream's Fist, and then we will make the journey to Pandaria. Now, there's also another major event that's happened in between Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria that is important, is the bombing of Theramore, and that is, I'll probably link in the description below, Noble's description of the book Tides of War, which does actually go over that. So, to basically sum it up, Garrosh Hellscream actually reclaimed a lot of Alliance land in I think it was the Southern Barrens, and made his way to Theramore, which was a neutral city for a while, but then became an Alliance city because it was predominantly human. Basically, it was a great meeting point for Thrall and Varian Wrynn to meet, but then slowly started not to become that. Well, Garrosh decided that this would be a prime target and actually got a mana bomb, or created a mana bomb, very much like the ones we saw in Burning Crusade, and nuked Theramore. So Theramore is now nothing more than a smoldering husk, and Jaina Proudmoore is forever affected by that. So much so, she almost committed revenge against Garrosh Hellscream by flooding Orgrimmar. Didn't happen, but thankfully she kind of regained her senses. But yeah, that almost happened. So that's another thing to consider, is that now tensions between the Alliance and the Horde are very high. And here is Nazgrim.
The Horde spear. No.
Welcome aboard Hellscream's Fist, Drakfu. This'll be your maiden voyage, ain't she a beauty?
I guess so. Into the mists. Nazgrim fills his lungs with sea air.
You smell that, Drakfu? It's the smell of our home. The lands our kind have bled and died to preserve. And listen, you hear that? It's the sound of peace and safety. A haven we've carved, where our enemies fear to tread. Remember these things. You won't experience them again anytime soon. We have ourselves a war to win. Now go get settled. We're shoving off.
Our orders stand.
Trying to stick as close to the voice as I can.
Prepare yourself, Drakfu. We'll be entering a target-rich environment.
I am ready to go, General!
Hellscream's eyes are upon you.
Yes, I know. The Fuhrer, his eyes are always upon me. It's the one thing I'm not looking forward to at this expansion, is I have to deal with Emo Scream. Pandaria made me very proud to be Alliance. Let's just put it that way. And here we go. So, as you can see, Pandaria has now been unlocked, but you can also see the Broken Isles for Legion. We'll get there. We're on the 4th one. That was the 6th. We're getting there, everybody. And the best part is, we're capped. So, we're just going to plow through the area as fast as we possibly can. Oh, and we're still stuck on the loading screen. I am excited. It's been a while since I've quested in Pandaria, and I love Pandaria. There we go. Black screen. This is obviously not how it's supposed to start up. Oh, crap. Please don't tell me it broke. Oh, already we're being flooded with the Pandaria soundtrack. There we go. Cutscene started. So it's both in-game as well as like cinematic style. We're in all of this dense mist. What's happening? Nazgrim's not happy.
We've been flying in this mist for hours, General. The crew grows uneasy.
Back to your post, soldier. We'll find this land, or die trying.
Land ho!
Die! I like land! Oh, but it's got very massive peaks. And towers. An alliance!
Alliance ship! Hard side! Attack!
Ah! Oh no! But they fired as well, so it took us down! Oh no, what a world. We have to conveniently land on this new continent to go level! Oh, and I've been hurt. Ah! And there we go. Ah, get up, Drakfu! Get up! Everything is on fire! Okay, so go in here to talk to General Nazgrim. Yes, now General, up from Legionnaire and Vashir.
Your eyes peeled.
Drakfu, they told me you were dead. I'm glad to see it wasn't true. There's alliance to kill.
Alright, paint it red.
They shot out our engines and we floated here, right in the firing line of the enemy. You know what to do, Drakfu. Get below decks and man those guns. Show these scum that they're in our line of fire.
Come what may. We
Alright, so now we know what we need to do. We need to get below deck and start firing at the cannons. Oh my! So as you can kind of tell, we actually have crash landed onto Pandaria. So let's go ahead and hit one of the turrets and do our job. So we need to take care of 80 Thunderhole troops and some cannons. Boom, 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 boom. Take care of them damn cannons. Boom. One thing that's always frustrating about these turrets is that they aim them so weird that it's not even sure if you're hitting anything. I'm just guessing if I'm hitting something. There we go. Now we have some more cannons destroyed. Kill off all of the... Okay, and then we also have... Oh, my bad. We also have the shredder round. Oh, my bad. It's just, that's what we're using. 6 out of 9. We have almost all the cannons, but nowhere near all the people. Oh no, I ran out of ammo. Kill them all! I'm just going off the assumption that maybe I'm hitting something. There we go. At least I got all the cannons. Okay, here we go. Now we're having some luck. Now we just need basically like 20 more. More like, yay, 5 more. There we go.
That's right. Show them hell.
Okay, now we just need to meet up with Rivet.
Time is money, friend.
Superior hold firepower at its finest. And you did okay too, I guess. I'll have to think about that one. So, let's see. We can get Garrosh's Vanguard Axe. And no, I don't really want either of those, but okay. Critical Strike and Haste, Haste and Mastery, Haste and Mastery. We're gonna go with Agility 1. Touching Ground. Nazgrim has taken command of the ground assault and has requested that you be sent up to meet up with him immediately. We have several rappelling ropes set up near the guns. Fastest way down you're gonna find. Save the one that ends poorly.
Keep it
Okay.
real.
Let's go ahead and rappel down. We don't need to use the turrets anymore. We are going to rappel down into the continent of Pandaria. With ancient buildings and all that. It's great. And this is actually, so I have no problem admitting this right here and now. This is in high contention to be one of my favorite zones of the entire game, is the Jade Forest. Let's see, 372. Let's go ahead and get rid of the critical strike versatility one. And let's meet up with Nazgrim.
Nothing shall stand in our way.
There you are. I was starting to worry we'd have to charge in and have all the fun without you.
All right, finish them.
We've softened them up. Now it's time to finish them off. That fortress must be cleansed of Alliance, and we've got nowhere to keep any prisoners.
The hint of a smile crosses Nazgrim's face.
You know what to do, Drakfu. The cowards will run if you give them the chance. See that you don't.
Fear nothing.
Okay, and
The
I'm actually going
horde
to
shall
swap these two.
prevail.
There we go. And then fire is always the answer.
It's not enough that we destroy their forces. Nothing must be left for them to salvage. Take this flare gun and fire it into their munition stockpiles. Leave them nothing.
Our orders stand.
Okay.
No matter the cost.
So as you can see, now all we get recommended is ground mounts. And, I mean, it's obviously, we could fix that. Like, we could actually go straight to the capital city and get Pandaria flying, but I am not going to. Because you know what? Brand spanking new players, they don't get that access. They have to go all the way to where they need to go. Or they need to at least do the starting experience. There we go. And then now we also have that. Oh, we are so behind when it comes to herbs and all that. So as you can see, this is also one of the flying mounts I've been using. It is grounded, and it's going to stay that way for this expansion. Sorry, guys. I know a lot of people want me to just skip over because it's easier that way, but no. We're not doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and get things started. Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to have some legit trouble with people. Okay. Boom. Okay. I like that. So we do have a couple of munition stockpiles to take care of, as well as some troops. So let's go ahead and get these questing breaks, or the first questing break of the day started. Go! Okay, there we go. I believe Nazgrim actually will move up a little bit more as we attack this Alliance stronghold. So let's go ahead and meet back up with Nazgrim. And just to the people, so I don't want to feel like this is a one-sided deal. If you have legitimate complaints about Mr. Pandaria, I would love to see them in the comments below. If you wanna share them with me, I would love to see what your, like, if you have legitimate gripes. And here's the thing. If you have, it's just Kung Fu Panda expansion, I'm sorry. I don't see that as a valid argument. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you on the matter. But if you have a legitimate complaint like the dailies or some of the other problems that did happen in the expansion, I would love to hear from you guys. So feel free to actually ask those questions. Geez, these are confusing. Actually, I think, yeah, it's a little broken. So let's head back over to the camp and see if maybe that fixes it. Here we go. The other thing, too, that I actually could do, and I'm not going to, but I think it's going to come up randomly, is you actually can... So this is the expansion where you got the Water Strider mount, and that does help with the questing experience, but I'm going to approach it, like, if I get it, I'll pick something else, because I don't want that necessarily to be all-encompassing, and for us to get through the expansion quicker because we have a Water Strider. I'm at least happy that the ads right now are not necessarily getting nuked by me, considering that I am level 90. So, okay, where is Nazgrim? Oh, he's probably, you know what? He's probably in the temple. That's probably where he's at. Okay, let's go ahead and go up here. And actually, that reminds me, I do have an additional talent to spend, so let's see what we got. Summons a whirling tornado around you, causing damage to enemies within 8 yards. Applies Mark of the Crane to up to 4 nearby targets. Invoke Zhuen the White Tiger. Summons an effigy of Zhuen the White Tiger. Zhuen attacks your primary target and strikes 3 enemies. And hit combo. Each successive attack that triggers combo strikes in a row grants 2% increased damage, stacking up to 8 times. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be a little biased here because I want to experiment with it, but that is Invoke Zhuen the White Tiger, and it's simply because I want to mess around with it. So if people have a problem with that, I'm sorry. But I loved seeing monks do this back in Mists of Pandaria, invoke a August Celestial to come and fight with them. So I want to do it myself. So much so that I did it in the beta videos too. Oh, there we go. So there's Nazgrim. And here, I thought I was doing it wrong. Okay, well, we're going to go in here, and... Hi, Nazgrim.
For the Horde.
Alright, so, finish them.
Good work, monk. We have them on our heels. On their heels.
Firesol is the answer.
Good work, Drakfu. Leave them nothing.
Okay, so the final blow.
We've learned that their captain has barricaded himself in above us. The coward allows his forces to die while he hid from our fury. Typical alliance. No matter, he cannot delay his fate any longer. I will scale the walls with my marines while you lead a frontal assault up the ramps. Use your flail gun on the munitions near the barricades to blast your way through. We will meet you up top and destroy this pathetic excuse for our captain together.
Come what may.
Alright, so what you gotta do is just go up the stairs. And sorry, I got a little distracted because I was getting whispered. I gotta put this up. Okay, there we go. So that way people don't bug me during these Let's Plays. I mean, I could type this entire time. I don't think you guys would like it. Let's see. I think yeah, there we go. So we just gotta go this way. Oh, yeah. So use it. Boom, blow up the barricade. We gotta go up here. And boom, blow up the barricade. Oh no, and now they're soldiers. Whatever will we do? There we go. And here's even more barricades. Destroy the third one. And now we just need to find Captain Doran. Oh, but first we have to take care of this guy. Or this gal, rather. And here is Captain Doran. Obviously, Nazgrim got here first. He cheated. Hi, Captain.
Scum will not destroy this land as you defiled Kalimdor.
Oh, no! What are you doing? He's running!
You coward!
Oh, cutscene. Garrosh is not going to be happy with me. It wasn't even my fault. Yep, so now we are crash-landed on Pandaria. We have no way out. We had a way out, but Hellscream's Fist is pretty much done. So let's go ahead. Oh.
No! They had an airbase! In an airbase! My ship! Hellscream will have my head!
But Nazgrim's not looking very good. He's getting kind of gray.
The tip of the Horde spear.
An airbase! They had a hidden airbase here this entire time! Had I known, I would have kept more men on the guns! I would have... Yeah!
The color drains from Nazgrim's face and his body begins to exude a mysterious dark energy.
Hellscream's
Oh,
eyes.
and what's happening? Oh boy. This isn't good. Claws? Oh, hi, dude. Pandarin! Oh, look, it's the Kung Fu Panda people. Really original.
You, bear creature. What kind of sorcery was this?
Ow. Let's hit the desk.
Stranger,
All right. Oh.
Your own doubts have been made manifest. Pandaria is not like whatever land you come from. It lives and breathes. You should be careful what kind of energy you bring here.
Ha! We bring only our honor and a desire to crush our enemies. Have your kind been aiding the Alliance?
It is not our desire to get wrapped up in your bloodshed. Now have your men lower their weapons, or you will face 2 enemies on this continent.
So yeah, the Pandaren actually aren't very happy to see us. Keep in mind, they've been isolated for many, many, many years, and now, unfortunately, we are in a land where our emotions are made manifest. If you bring doubt here, it will rise against you. So, or if you bring war here, it will rise against you. I love this concept about Pandaria. If you bring your doubts, your fears, your hatreds, it will rise up against you, and you must master them. So let's go ahead and talk to Nazgrim, and then we will talk to Terenzu, the Lord of the Shadowpan.
Or the Horde?
So let's see.
Those Alliance scum will learn what it is to anger the Horde.
So you're either with us or...
The assistance of the nearby village has now become a necessity, Drakfu. We will need to use the village to regroup and tend to our wounded. Perhaps the villages will join our cause after seeing the brutality unleashed by the Alliance. You will act as an envoy for the Horde, ensure the cooperation of their leader. Do not disappoint me.
Fear nothing.
Okay. Then we also have regroup.
They have an airbase. I have underestimated this Alliance captain for the last time. So many good warriors lost.
Oh, jeez, it's really hard to do Nazgrim's voice.
There must have been a few survivors who were able to bail during the crash. We need every able-bodied fighter we can get. Find as many survivors as you can in the forest below, and I will investigate the wreckage itself. Rally everyone together at the nearby village for a counterattack.
Okay.
Foes flee before you.
Then we also have
I
Terenzu.
have had enough of your kind.
So face-to-face with consequence. And again, I'm going to try and do his voice, but I'm probably not going to be successful.
I do not know the history of this war that you fight, and I am not interested. This land responds to negative energy in kind. The hatreds, doubt, and violence you have brought here now ooze out of Pandaria like blood from an open wound. Your actions have wrought havoc all over those ruins. Clean up after yourself and meet me in the village below. I will do my best to explain what is happening here.
I am finished with you.
Okay, so we need to rescue a certain amount of people, as well as take care of the Shah Haunts and Shah Harbingers. This is actually one of the key enemies of Mists of Pandaria, the Shah, which is basically your negative emotions, your negative energies made manifest. So we'll take them down. There we go. Okay, so let's take out the big guy first. And I love the other thing that was cool about Mists of Pandaria to me was, you know, when we had Burning Crusade, we had Illidan. When we had Wrath of the Lich King, we had the Lich King. When we had Cataclysm, we had Deathwing. Mists of Pandaria did not have a big bad. We had new enemies. This was basically Blizzard saying, we need new enemies in our roster. Let's go ahead and make some. And in that case, they actually made some really compelling enemies, one being the Shah. I'm not going to give too many details as why they're compelling, but they are. Because they do have a connection to to a villain that we're familiar with, but at the same time, they are unknown to us. We don't understand what they are or what they are doing to us, what they bring to the war now. Alright, so we just need one more. Go ahead and Hurricane kick the crap out of these guys. And now we have this done, but we also need to rescue certain Horde members. So we'll be doing that on the way. But as you can see, the area has now been phased and is now just covered in Shah. So we just need to be careful with this, but also, as you can also see, there are Alliance soldiers who were just as affected by the Shah as our buddy Nazgrim was. So we also need to keep that in mind. Ooh, look, green tea leaf. That's going to be helpful. Okay. It'll help us find our inner selves. Oh, where are the people to rescue? I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Let's get out of this compound, though. We don't necessarily... Or get out of the temple, because we've claimed all of our Shah Haunts and Harbingers. And we also have some Corrupted Alliance following us. That's also good. Okay. Oh, here we go. So here's our first one. Over in the Honeydew Glade. Oh, and we have Rivet Clutchpot.
Yo,
Get me out of here, Drakfu! This lady's going to kill me! So much whining. You would think I was trying to kill you. Quit messing around and use your knife. Nazgrim wants you to report to the village immediately. Okay, so we have Ellie Honeypaw.
What is your hurry?
Priorities. Just look at this mess. All that brew gone to waste. Terran Zoo warned us against speaking to you outsiders, but I'll take any help I can get. We're on our way to Dawn's Blossom when the fighting broke out. Now all of our brew has been lost. You want to make it up to us? Maybe you can find some of our honey brew barrels that haven't been broken. Then it wouldn't be a complete loss.
Stay focused.
So we just need to find 6 barrels, and then we also have Suji the Tender.
Oh, hello.
Prowler problems. The animals have all gone crazy. Normally, the prowlers steer clear of the village, but now we can't seem to keep them away. I've never seen them act this way before. The mayor has summoned in the Shadow Pan, but they're not all here yet. Can you take care of those prowlers before they maul one of our farmers?
Farewell.
So now we also have Shaw-infested animal life that we need to take care of. So while we're making our way here, here's some barrels of honey brew. Oh, but first we have a Shaw-infested prowler. Okay, well, we're getting crap done. Oh, did we grab it? Yay! We got 2. We also need to look around for other Horde survivors. That's the other priority here. And here we go. Here is Shokia, who does play a role later on. So, okay, here's Shokia.
you out here.
What happened?
Odds.
Where are we?
On your feet! Nazgrim is organizing a counterattack. We're regrouping in the village.
Go on without me.
Okay. She's basically a sniper, so she'll be helpful later on. But now we must continue to collect. Oh, do we have, yeah, we don't have a quest involving terrified field workers, but maybe we will in a bit. Boom! Take care of you. And now we also have some green tea leaf. This was also the expansion that created, so if people have noticed, like, I get pieces of a herb or nuggets of a mineral. This is actually the expansion that did that, and I'm so glad they did, because they actually added good experience gains from those deposits. So it was beneficial to work on your professions as you quested. But also the fact that, like, if you couldn't necessarily mine that ore just yet, if you weren't that particular number you needed to be, then you would get nuggets. And so it would be less, but at least you could mine it and get a skill up out of it. That's helpful. Let's see. We need 1 more barrel, and then we've got that one done. There we go. And now we just need the Prowlers, and we need to find the other 2. Shademaster Kieran and Sergeant Gorok. Alright. Let's see. We also need to take care of the Shaw-infested Prowlers, but I'm not going to worry about that immediately, because we're gonna come across them on the way. As you can see. There we go. And there's Sergeant Gorok, I believe is... Yeah, it's Orc. Shademaster tells me that's probably undead. So, okay, Sergeant Gorok.
Blood and thunder.
I shouldn't be alive, Blood Elf. I should have died with the rest of my brothers.
We need to regroup, Sergeant. Go to the nearby village.
The battle is done, friend.
Alright, so he'll go.
Yes, monk. No time for mourning. Let us avenge our fallen brethren and claim this land for the Horde.
Yeah. I'll admit, the Horde don't look very good in this expansion to me, mainly because of the internal conflicts that they were dealing with during this time. But I will say that they got some good resolution at the end. Being able to resolve their problems and rise up again as the Horde. And so here is Shademaster Kieran.
Come closer, friend.
Kieran stares blankly up at the sky and doesn't respond. Snap out of it! You're alive! Nazgrim has ordered us to report to the nearby village!
Footsteps be silent, friend.
Is she gonna say anything? She took a pretty nasty spill. The damage is horrific. I haven't been able to wake her. Oh, you mean she looked like this before the crash? I have an idea. An old brewmaster trick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you gonna feed her booze? I don't know if I like a Shade Master. There we go. Good as new, I guess. What happened? I barely made it off the ship before it went down. Thank you. I'll make my way to the village. Stay safe. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of the remaining prowlers. But yeah, back to the argument point. Like, if you want to bring up some legitimate problems you had with the expansion, I'll agree with you. Like, every expansion has good points and bad points, and even Mists of Pandaria, for as much as I love it, it did have bad points. It did have frustration. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you guys. I do not accept the Kung Fu Panda argument. It is not a worthwhile argument to me. Kung Fu Panda and the Pandarians of Warcraft lore are different. And they have been different for many, 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 many years. So I don't necessarily accept that argument. Let's see. Should we allow them to stay here? They have wounded to tend to. They will bring more destruction to our village.
How can you remain neutral after watching them blow us out of the sky?
Well, what about the bombs that landed on our farms from your warship?
Those are the casualties of war.
A war we did not have until you arrived. See, I love the discussions here because, again, Pandaria was peaceful until we showed up and we brought our war here. And so the awesome part of this expansion was learning that war isn't always the answer. That peace does have to prevail eventually. So let's go ahead and turn in these quests. First of all, with Sergeant Gorok.
What news, friend?
These are the only survivors, Drakfu? So be it. We will play the hand fate dealt us.
Gorok lifts his head up high.
Numbers be damned. This is where heroes are made.
Let's see. We have a one-handed axe, critical strike, and mastery. We're going to go with the other mace. And I believe they're both 372, so it doesn't really even matter. But boom! Now we have two maces. Let's see. We also have Ellie Honeypaw.
Patience.
Well, it's not as much as I would have hoped, but it will have to do. I guess there's no sense in crying over spilled brew.
Goodbye.
The other thing I love about this expansion, it brought humor back to the Warcraft franchise. Jiminy Christmas. Sure, we got humor here and there. I'm not saying that we didn't get that, but this actually brought humor back as kind of a main plot point. So this was also kind of a levity expansion. I was okay with that. Let's see, Mayor Honeydew.
Hello.
Your fighting has brought about much destruction for our tiny village. We have no interest in your war, but we will not turn your injured away.
Next one is on.
Okay, so Terranzu.
What do you want, stranger?
Your actions will have grave consequences if you do not move from your path of war. So face to face with consequences. I'm glad you took responsibility for your actions. Left unchecked, negative emotions can quickly overwhelm an individual here, just as they started to overwhelm the one you call Nazgrim.
Leave.
Alright, Prowler problems. So your conflict at the ruins is beginning to pollute the local wildlife. This is very troubling. I've never seen a reaction so intense. Thank you for protecting the village, but it is a tragedy that those poor animals had to die.
Pandaria is... If it is war you mean to bring to our shores, the very land itself will respond to your passions and your violence. I do not know what the ultimate consequences will be. Nobody does.
Alright. And actually, if you didn't notice, we actually did get credit for the first the first major event that we needed to do in the Jade Forest. So, yay! We're moving on. Sergeant Gorok. Seeking Xinjun.
It just doesn't know it yet.
Rivet claims to have seen Xinjun, abandoned ship with the rest of the survivors. That means he's still out there somewhere. We can't leave him behind. He could be injured or worse yet, captured. Go track down Xinjun and bring him back.
Okay. Now, the cool part is that not only will we get a flight path, but we also get a portal back to Orgrimmar. So, yes, you're technically supposed to be stranded here, but, I mean, the next expansion will also strand you and you still get a way back. It's just something they have to do in an MMO to let you go and use the auction house, things like that. So, remember this portal, because this is going to come into play very much for you as a quester. But we're also going to go ahead and grab the flight path here, too. The other thing that I really do like here is that they actually did have specific types of mounts that you got in Pandaria. So all of the flight paths basically put you like on a kite, which again, I want that mount. I really need to figure out where to get it though. Because that's an awesome little mount, and I love the fact that it was like you got red ones for the Horde, blue ones for the Alliance throughout the entire expansion. So instead of having to see the stinking Griffins or the Wind Riders, you got to see something new for an expansion. Okay, so we need to speak with Xinjun in the Ascent of the Swirling Winds. So let's go ahead and track him down. Oh, and now we also have another new race for Pandaria, which is the Hosen. The Hosen are monkey people. And they are also kind of a comic relief race. I'm okay with this, as you can tell. And here is Xinjun. But first, let's make sure the Hosen aren't going to follow me. Okay, nope.
Hello, man.
No, never mind. They're coming. Come on. Well, if you have to take me down, then here you go. Okay, let's talk to him. Xinjun is gravely wounded, but senses that you're friendly. Monkey things! Everywhere there be these monkey things! Alright, so we now get some brand spanking new boots. Crying my eyes out. I could have taken out a whole lot of them, man. Shot them one by one, then played dead when they get too close. Fell for it every time they did. We almost had, well, almost every time. One of them finally got wise, called my bluff. Before I knew it, they was using my eyes as marbles. Ran off with my goods and left me here to die, the savages. Help me, man. Let me die with my dignity intact. So we need to get Xinjun's belongings from the Hosen Ground Pounders. But we also have this one from the ancient statue. Monstrosity. It's plain to see that the statue and the surrounding ruins are of ancient origin. Clearly this land has a deep history, which means it could not have been born of the cataclysm. And yet these waters have been explored for ages now, with no record of anything here but open sea. Perhaps if you were to sketch the pieces of this broken statue, you might shed light on the continent's origins. Because again, yeah, like, that's the weird part here. People were probably sailing through Pandaria, we're guessing, and they still were not hitting dry land. But for some reason, when the mists faded, it's now accessible. We'll get more answers as we go along in the questing of Mists of Pandaria, but that actually was an interesting question for a lot of us. It's like, really? You know, why is this the case? Okay, so we've checked the statue legs. Now, oh yeah, that's right. We need to take out the ground pounders to get his various belongings. So let's go ahead and do that with a quick questing break. Go! All right, we have taken care of Xinjun's belongings, so let's go ahead and talk to him. You got me goods, man. I do. Xinjun sobs. You think? They done killed Snuff. What did old Snuff ever do to them? Alright, so next quest, Seeing Red. I was just about to curl up and die, man. Now this. Snuff and me go way back. All the memories. No way I could face Snuff in the afterlife without avenging his death first, man. These hooligans be led by one named Conk. We gotta sniff him out and then snuff him out for Snuff.
Stay away from them.
I don't want to know why your dude's name, or why your pet's name was Snuff. Oh, we also did come across the ancient statue torso. Oh. Gotta load this up. There we go. Okay, so we just need to make sure to take care of all of this stuff, and here is the next one. The head, no, let's see. This portion of the statue tells you little, other than the subject actually had arms. So create a sketch. There we go. Now we just need to find the next sketch. We have two more. We need to get a shoulder and we need to get a head. Got to get your head in the game, everybody. And actually, here's the head. And I'll form the head. Okay. So maybe that's just a big scary mask on its face. Create a sketch of the statue. There we go. And finally, we need the shoulder piece. And I'll guess that it's that big piece right there that says Ancient Statue Shoulder. Now, the cool part about this is that... So people remember that in Wrath of the Lich King, you got 2 separate zones. You could start in the Howling Fjord or in the Borean Tundra. In Cataclysm, you could start in either Vashir or Hyjal. Here, you started in the Jade Forest, both of you. So Alliance and Horde started in the Jade Forest. The difference that they did, though, was that the Horde actually started in the northern part, and their questing deals heavily in the northern part, and the Alliance started in the south. But they are dealing with their skirmishes. So just as much as we dealt with the Alliance when we came here, the Alliance is dealing with the Horde there. So that's how they kept things separate, so you didn't have to worry too much as soon as you started meeting in the center, and then you had some contact. But that was actually an inventive way to avoid the Hellfire Peninsula-esque problems that Burning Crusade had. So I was at least happy about that. Let's see. This statue's shoulder looked quite imposing in relation to the rest of its features. The subject was clearly a mighty creature. Perhaps it's good-natured sort. Or if not, then maybe it's extinct. One can hope. There we go. So now we have all this and an additional quest to turn in. Monstrosity. As you look over the sketch, you can't help but hope that these creatures don't really exist. Yeah. So, okay. The next thing we need to do is take care of Conk, so we can avenge Snuff. And I believe he's just over here in this cave. That's what we got to do. Now, the Mist of Pandaria expansion also did add additional content. First of all, you got access to the Pandaren race. So for people who did want to play that, they could. And then you also got access to the Monk class, which was pretty much available to everybody except the Worgen and the Goblins. Aptly enough, the 2 races that were Cataclysm exclusive and got amazing new skeletal models to be able to do that. So I think they really just built it towards the older skeletons. And I don't think they fixed it since then. So Worgens still can't be monks, and neither can goblins. But humans, dwarves, gnomes, night elves, Draenei, all can be monks. Orcs, undead, trolls, Tauren, and blood elves can also be monks. Obviously, I'm a blood elf monk. So here is Conk. Fist of Fury! There we go. There we go, man. Now I be going off to be with Snuff. Oh, Nazgrim! You have a thanks, Drakfu. We'll be watching over ya. Okay, so now we have Nazgrim.
Nothing shall stand in our way.
Xinshun is lost? This is a dark day indeed, brother. These vermin will pay.
Okay, so we have a new chess piece, and now we have...
Once we defeat the Alliance and their allies, claiming this land will be a fitting testimony to the tenacity of the Horde.
So assault on the airstrip.
I have found their hidden airfield, Drakfu, the strong-arm airstrip. It wasn't hard to spot. It's swarming with Alliance.
Nazgrim spits.
They think they've wiped us out, but we're Horde. We fight until we're corpses, and sometimes even afterwards. Let them taste our steel.
Fear nothing. The
And
Horde
strong-arm
shall
tactics.
prevail.
Scouting reports from the strong-arm airstrip are in, and I've underlined a few high-priority targets for you. 2 gnomish mechanics have been keeping Alliance gyrocopters in the air. Take out the mechanics, and the gyrocopters' numbers will dwindle. A dwarven Death Knight wanders their perimeter. He's an adventurer like yourself, loosely allied and highly dangerous. Finally, a name I recognize, Corporal Jackson Silver. He's a hero of the Alliance and a dead shot with a crossbow. Good luck, Drakfu.
Our orders stand. No matter the
But we also have 2 other quests in the area. So first of all, let's get this one from Merchant Zin. Unreliable allies. We originally welcomed the Alliance as friends. Several of our villagers volunteered to help them build an airstrip. Only recently, however, did it become clear to us that they were building a war base within shouting distance of our village. What's worse, I fear that some villagers are being held against their will. If you find them, monk, let them know that it is time to come home.
There is no hurry.
Alright, and then we also have one from Rivet Clutchpop.
Hey, how you doing?
So, Chopportunity. I spotted some shoulder-mounted rocket launches on the way over here. They might have been fireworks, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume that they were shoulder-mounted rocket launches until I'm proven wrong. Point is, in the arms of a skilled monk like you, they could probably take down a shopper. If you find any lying around, try pointing them at those poorly built gyrocopters.
Have a good one.
Alright, so now we have that. We have a bunch of new quests to take on, all basically involving the strong arm airstrip. So here we go with yet another questing break. Go! Okay, so I think we've gotten a good portion of this done, but we still have a little bit more to do. So first of all, we're going to take out Corporal Jackson Silver. There we go. Okay, so we got him taken care of, and now we just need to worry about Morgus Grimhatchet, which is the Death Knight, and the Master Engineer, but we also still need to get some of the indentured Pandarans freed. So I think that'll happen in the additional camps, but we also have to find the other guys along the way. Here we go.
Welcome.
So here's
I hope to
10.
see you again soon. May your days bring you
There
joy.
we go, and then we just need to find Morgus. Or, actually, no. Here's... Supposedly there's one right over here. Not sure who, but okay. Well, screw you guys. Fist of Fury. Haha. And
What do
let's
you
talk to
need?
you.
Goodbye.
And let's talk to
I'm
you.
growing a beard.
Yes, you are. You are growing a beard at some point. And here's the Chief Engineer. Just go ahead and smack the crap out of both of them. Okay. So we took care of the Master Engineer and the Gyrocopter Master. Now we just need Morgus. And there he is, Morgus Grimhatchet. He is the DK that is helping them. Face of Fury! There we go. Oh, that's cute. You think you can actually fight against me. Let's go ahead and turn all of these in. We just got to go over to this base right over here. Thankfully not too far off, but we've taken care of the airstrip. Okay, so first of all, Rivet. I hope those ding-dongs enjoyed the party you threw for them.
Be good.
All right, and then we also have Merchant Zin.
Take your time.
Although I can't
Enjoy.
understand why you choose to bring your war to our land, I can clearly see which side is more virtuous. Thank you for your aid, Blood Elf.
May the
And trust me when I say this, the Pandaran on the southern end will think the Alliance are them. That's the coolest part about this particular zone. Is like you come here, you befriend the locals that you deal with, and eventually kind of bring them into the war themselves. So, but you guys will see that near the end. Let's go ahead and talk to Nazgrim.
Peeled for the Alliance.
The best thing about killing Alliance in Pandaria, it'll be months before they get any reinforcements. This land will belong to the Horde, Monk. We're nearly finished.
Come what may.
And then strong arm tactics.
Blood and thunder, Drakfu! Blood and thunder!
So the darkness within.
You didn't see Captain Doran while you were out there, did you? That sniveling Alliance leader must be hiding somewhere. If he wasn't in that airbase, he can't be far. Search the perimeter. Try searching the cave southwest of the main airfield. I want the Alliance gone from here.
Hellscream leader is still in hiding. Find him.
All right, so unfortunately, that's actually going to go ahead and do it for this episode. So when we get back on Monday, we will have Tale of Drakfu, and we will continue our questing in the Jade Forest. Till then, we'll see you guys next time.